Well, let me show you what we're going to be doing today. We'll walk out to the garage here. Yesterday, found out I got a little bit of an oil leak. The IP pump housing right below it, it's leaking. God. I looked at it the other day and it was a little leak. I went on a farther trip yesterday and it just puked oil everywhere. And so I got to take it off and put some silicone under it. So I'm going to try to show you the process here. Let's open the big garage door so we can get some light. Pop the hood here. Let me show you we got oil everywhere. I don't want oil running everywhere. I want to try to keep this truck running good. Oh yeah. So let me show you. A little bit of an oil leak. So the longer trips you get, it just blows oil everywhere. And I'm pretty sure all I would see it is right here, below the injection pump cover. So we're gonna have to clean it all off and then mark it all on the IP pump to the housing, and then the housing on the gear. I'm gonna try to get top dead center. And I guess too, if there's a dowel, if it's at 4 o'clock, your piston's at top dead center. I don't know if that's a compression stroke or one of the other revolutions, but so hopefully everything goes all right. And then I'm gonna take the timing cover off to make sure, because I believe there's an X and a Y has to line up on the IP pump and the camshaft gear, and then on the camshaft and crankshaft they have the 2 dots line up. And I believe on the IP pump gear and the camshaft gear, the IP pump gear has 1 tooth that goes into the 2 teeth on the camshaft when those X and Y match up. But I do have a bore scope if I have to look down there, but I'm gonna try to get them top dead center so that I can see it right up at the top. Let's get this thing cleaned up and we'll show you the process. All right, I think it's a good point to show you where I'm at. I got the injection pump out. There's 3 bolts you have to take out. Sorry, 3 nuts. And I just use a cut off 9/16 wrench right here. One of the nuts you gotta just barely put on when you put the pump back on, and slide it off, kind of leave it on there. Got all my wires out of the way. You have to take this off the back, this line off the back of the injection pump that goes up to your fuel filter housing. Took my tachometer off. All my little wires to the IP pump. We got 3 bolts that go in the front. Mark my lines so I can hope that gear doesn't move. That dowel is supposed to be at 4 o'clock. And there's a little notch. There's a dot. So I say this is about 3. That's your bolt for that cover. There's a notch and then a little thing here, and I think that's about 4 o'clock. And then there is a timing mark on the crankshaft. It's hard to see with the light. But that line on the crankshaft matches with that timing mark, and there's 2 little dots on there, or holes or something. So I don't know if everything's lined up or not. I'm trying to shoot for top dead center to see if I can use my bore scope to see if those 2 gears, the X and Y, are lined up, but those marks on there that I put on there should be fine. So let's get this thing off here and show you what that looks like. Okay, check this out. It looks like somebody tried to seal it before with the orange. I'm gonna use blue. I use blue on that. It looks like there's nothing in the front where that little groove is. Looks like it was kind of got wore out. There were some on some of the bolts, some on not. See, it looks like in the front, like there was none, barely any, and I think it was leaking right here in the front. So I'm gonna put silicone all the way around this thing in the back, everything there. And then silicone on that cover. I'm gonna try to see if I can look down there with my borescope, but there's my lines on there. It's moved right yet. So let's do that, get it cleaned up and see if we can get it back on. Okay, there is one tooth with a Y on the IP pump gear, but it's really hard to see down there. You'd have to have a really small borescope or some little skinny mirror. You can do some contortionist angle to see it or something. But yeah, I wonder if there's a little groove here. Then on the pump housing, a groove fits in there. I wonder if that's where it was leaking. Let's get some sealer on and get back in there and see how we do. Okay, it's running. Got the air out. The line's working. Let's double check. How everything's going. Leaking down the front. It wasn't leaking before, just when you drive it, if you really get on it, it would start leaking. It's got more seal in it than it had. Now we just got to get it all cleaned up. Yeah, just get it cleaned up. So, you know, a lot of people seem to be scared to take that injection pump timing cover off. You know, I was a little bit a little nervous. Can I do it? I took the ejection pump out before, so it didn't seem like so I had that experience. Put a new one in there, new injector lines and new injectors, so that was all the same. Taking that timing the cover off, long as I marked it in 3 spots, which was good, because when I took that gear out, you had to put the gear back in and put the cover on, just making sure those 3 lines worked really good. If you had 2, it could be kind of hard, I think. But the 3 lines worked really good. Took a video, so I was able to go back and look at the video. Yeah, didn't seem like too big of a deal. I'm glad it's running, and hopefully it's not going to leak any more oil. If it does, we'll fix it and figure that one out. But all right, good to go.